welcome to my ebony tower. My name is Gloria, and on the tower I want to share some delicious recipes with you today. We have this slow cooker Korean beef short ribs that I paired with ramen noodles. It was so good. I will link these two recipes down below. I also made a beautiful veggie frittata. Now the recipe called for some items that I did not have. It is very adaptable. You can use what you want, but look how beautiful it is. You got your cheese, some sweet potatoes roasted, beautiful. So let's get into these short ribs. Now the recipe does call for 4 to 6 pounds beef short ribs. You want all your beautiful Korean flavors, some rice vinegar, brown sugar, garlic. I'm using Better Than Bouillon. I think it's more flavorful than broth. We're gonna use 1 cup of that. I got country style short ribs. They were good. I don't know if I got the right ones, but they came out delicious. And we're gonna cut up an onion. Now the recipe, this is so easy. Literally, we're going to cut up the onion. We're gonna slice it. We're going to put it on top of the ribs and then put the sauce and let it cook, and that's it. Okay, so go ahead and like and subscribe, and then go get these ingredients and make this dish. It is so delicious. Okay, so next we're going to make that sauce. I'm using 1 cup of hot water, and I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of the Better Than Bouillon. You got to be careful with the bouillon because it is very flavorful. It can be very salty. So I suggest following the instructions that come with the Better Than Bouillon paste and work it from there. The recipe calls for soy sauce. I'm using liquid aminos, which it's a lighter, less salty flavor than soy sauce, and it is vegan and gluten-free. It's made from soybeans. I really like it. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. If you don't have that, omit it or just use regular vinegar. That should be fine. Okay, we're also going to add that yummy brown sugar, which kind of cuts the saltiness. I'm adding pepper. We're going to add garlic, ginger, and gochujang, which is a Korean hot sauce. If you don't have that, just substitute. Substitute, girl, it's okay. Use whatever hot sauce you prefer, or don't put it in at all. Okay, and then we have sesame oil, which I love. Use sparingly. It is very strong. The recipe calls for 1 tablespoon. Next, we're gonna mix everything up and just pour it over our meat and onions. So easy, so delicious. Look at that. It is so aromatic and beautiful. You guys definitely need to try this. You're gonna put a lid on it, cook it on low or high until the meat is nice and tender, and your home is going to be smelling good, for real. Next up, we are going to roast our sweet potatoes for our frittata. So we're just going to start with the sweet potato, cut it, and we're going to put it in the air fryer. I love my air fryer. I just use my Slap Ya Mama seasoning and celery salt. I love celery salt and pepper, and I sprayed it with some oil and roasted it for about 12-14 minutes until your sweet potatoes are nice and tender. And I like them charred, a little bit of char going on the ends. And that's it. And we'll be adding this later to our frittata mix. Next up, we're going to saute our vegetables for the frittata. Now the frittata called for red. bell peppers, yellow bell peppers, onions. And 6 eggs, obviously, it's a frittata. So I had bok choy left over, which I'm putting in with the onions, and I had leftover shredded carrots. I also am going to add basil, salt, pepper. The recipe calls for grated cheddar cheese, which I used, and Parmesan cheese. And cilantro. I added cilantro to this. Man, this was so good. So use whatever you want. It's a veggie frittata. You want to use broccoli, use broccoli. You want to use cauliflower, use cauliflower. My cousin actually made this twice, and she added spinach and mozzarella cheese. You can make this Italian. You can put some tomatoes, Italian seasoning, meat if you want to put meat in it. It's just, you can do what you want. It's so easy, so flavorful, so delicious. So again, I just seasoned mine with pepper, Himalayan pink salt, and then I added basil. Always flavor each layer. I even put some salt and pepper in my eggs. You want all the flavors to come through when you're cooking. And I use my cast iron skillets, which I love. Next up, we're gonna add the eggs and the sweet potatoes. Now, the most important thing about this recipe is you want to make sure everything's in an even layer, okay? Because I'm cutting this in wedges, and I want each wedge to be full of flavor and have all the ingredients. So just make sure you do that. You're gonna see me kind of patting it. You want your eggs to set a little bit. We're gonna add cheese and finish this in the oven for about 6 minutes. When your cheese gets nice and bubbly and the edges begin to brown. Now this will go in the oven after we get the cheese on top, and please make this recipe. And if you do, please comment down below. It is so good. Look how beautiful that is. So beautiful. So delicious. I did want to show you guys my new favorite thing. Oh no, first we're going to check on our ribs. We're just going to give it a little mix. Oh, it smells so good. They are not ready, of course. So we're just gonna mix them a little bit. So next up, I have this Gaia Melon, which I have been loving. I found this at my local Asian store. A Gaia Melon, it's related to your honeydew, your cantaloupe. It has a pear and honey type flavor. Very sweet, very delicious. It has your vitamin A, your vitamin C. It was just good to switch this up this week. I'm definitely gonna keep these in the house. So on day one, I paired the Gaia Melon with that frittata. Bomb.com. Okay. The next day, I had some turkey sausage and I put sour cream, guacamole. Beautiful. Let's make some ramen. Now I got these ramens. These are now my favorite. Okay. They come packaged. I think there's 12 in the package at my local Asian market. I, again, am using my Better Than Bouillon paste. I use about 2 tablespoons. Listen. This is the only way I'm cooking ramen from now on. It tastes so much better than the little packets we get for what, 5 cents at the market? And it probably has less sodium and less God knows what in it. I also add some chili oil. Don't skip that. Buy some chili oil. It just is so good and so flavorful. Look at that beautiful, beautiful ramen. I'm thinking I'm making a chicken bowl flavored, like banh mi flavored ramen bowl next. These are so good. So next up, our ramen is done. I'm gonna go ahead and pair it with our beautiful slow cooker beef Korean ribs, honey. You do want to thicken your sauce with a slurry of cornstarch. Recipe is down below. Please make these recipes, like, subscribe, come back, let's grow. Oh, I added green onions and sesame seeds. Thank you for watching.